Thank you for joining us for this JMC webinar on your all-in-one solution. It's June 4th, 2024. Beautiful summer day here in southeastern Minnesota. My name is Paul Freed. I am the lead trainer at JMC, showing you what JMC can do for a school like yours. I had a couple partners actually join me today, but they both had injuries yesterday and they had to go to doctor's appointments. So I said, I can take this one myself. So here we go. Does your student information system, which we call an SIS, require a bunch of extra apps in order to work for your school district? It doesn't have to. With JMC, you can have all the functionality that third-party applications offer in just one system, meaning your SIS is streamlined and your spending is consolidated. From granting substitutes needed access to keeping track of community service hours, we have solutions that don't require third-party apps. And not only does it typically save you money, but it also saves you time, right? You don't have to do lots of exports and integrations and those kinds of things. And we do integrations, of course, with other programs, but the main things you need day to day, we've got in JMC. Today, we're going to take a look at popular third-party extensions and demonstrate how JMC's all-in-one system offers the same functionality backed by our best-in-class tech support. Say goodbye to time-consuming workarounds. The best part, it's included in the price. No hidden fees, no extra costs, all-in-one software with all-one pricing. If you have any questions, you can send them at the Q&A chat feature or anytime as well, but I might not get to them till the end of the Q&A chat feature. All right. Some schools use School Messenger. We use the JMC Office and Teacher Message Center. No need for an external messaging service. JMC has one built in. And while most third-party messaging services charge by the user, JMC allows anyone to send unlimited text messages through the Message Center, including teachers as well. With the Message Center, users can first direct messages to specific groups by grade level, activity, course, and even bus number. And this is one of the biggest, most powerful things. You can do any of these ones right here by bus number, by random contact, by activity. It's not just the main person who might use, the school messenger. It's the folks who have access to the office program, the right privileges, teachers, coaches, activity directors, and so on. So super helpful. So it's not one or two people managing those particular messages. You can record and save common messages for future use. If you want to have a recorded phone call where you have ready to go out at some point, you can have that ready to go, or you can schedule it to go out in the future. You can use our text to voice feature to type a message that will be read by your choice of a male or female voice when its call is placed. You just want to type something up. You can have it go out as actually an email, text, and phone. It goes as an email, a text message, and phone. It will actually read off that message to get that message to everybody. And you can utilize a combination of phone call, email, and or text messaging to ensure your news is received how users prefer. The other really great thing is, unlike other programs where you have to actually have people go and sign up, or you have to put them in, as soon as a parent or a guardian is put into JMC, you can check a couple boxes or mass assign, if you want to, everybody who's a primary contact to the Message Center. So when people use Remind or these other apps, which they have their positives too, you have to go out and sign up for it. With JMC, parents can log into the parent portal, update their phone numbers, update their contact preferences, and so on. So really, to me, it's just so helpful to have it all in one. The Teacher Message Center allows educators to send emails and texts to families and students regarding important classroom information. Teachers can choose to direct messages to specific groups, courses, grade levels, and more. So teachers can send out email and text messaging. I do tell folks, and I've trained a lot of teachers in the last 5 years on this, that one-way communication, just alerting families of what's going on, even a text message once every week or 2 weeks. There's a field trip tomorrow, bring a bag lunch, or there's a test tomorrow, here's the study questions, or your students did a great job in class today. Families are typically can be bad at checking emails, but most will see a text message when it comes through. So that Teacher Message Center is totally awesome. So let's take a live look at the Message Center and Teacher Message Center. Just keep it really high level and brief. So this is the JMC Office program. Here's the Message Center. It's one of our modules that's listed here. Go in here to send messages. If I wanted to send out a email, text, and phone that school's canceled tomorrow, I would literally come here and say by grade level. It's going to for my kindergarten students all the way up to my adults if I've got adults in there. I can also narrow it down to particular grade levels or whatever it might be. Email, text, and phone. I can send it to the primary contacts and or the students. Let those students know that school's out, and maybe it's midnight and I want to send out this message at 5:30 tomorrow morning. I could schedule it. And I could choose 5:30 tomorrow morning here. Let's see here. Here's 5:30 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll do that on the 5th. And that would go out that time. I click OK. That's going to tell me how many contacts I'm sending it to. I actually can come over and I can click on this and it will tell me all the people that I'm sending this information to. I put a reply to address in for the email that's going out, a subject for the email, and then I put the message in here and send, and it's going to easily send that information out. So super handy inside the JMC Office program. Additionally, if I go to the JMC Teacher Portal, so I'm going to open that up and log into the JMC Teacher Portal. I'll actually log in for next year. I can come in as a teacher. This is telling me new students that I've had added to my classes. I'd go under Message Center, really easy for your teachers to find. And it's going to allow me to send out by course, by random students, by advisory group, if they've got a homeroom. If they are in charge of an activity, they can do the activity there. I'm the math league coach, whatever it might be. Flex offering or tag. Very simple. Again, email, straightforward. That text message, again, super helpful. Choose that group, click OK, type the message, send it out. It is one way. Families can't respond to it because you're like a business. And that's actually the way it works well for schools. You're keeping families involved. If they want to get a hold of you, they can call or email you as well. Okay, so that's the Message Center. It can be used by multiple folks in your school district. And I see there's a question here. The question is, hey, Paul, can coaches use the activity app? I heard you had mentioned that. That's right. Thank you, Julie. So Julie and anybody else that's listening, coaches have an app called the Coach Activity app. And you can assign students to their activity. It can be math league, it can be bowling, it can be soccer, volleyball, and then they can log into the app on the go, right from the bus or from home or wherever it might be, and send messages to students and parents as well. And that's all tracked inside JMC. So you can know that, you're not having to just trust that coaches are sending out information. If a parent says, hey, I got this weird message from a coach and maybe they just had bad grammar or something like that, you can actually check on that message in the office side of JMC. So there's a little bit of the ability to oversee those messages, and also allows coaches, again, to really send out those regular messages of practice is moved inside, the bus is running late, or whatever it might be. So great question, Julie. All right, and I don't see other questions, so we'll keep on rolling. Wordware equals JMC Lunch Module and point of sale. The JMC Lunch Module seamlessly manages school meal administration, from high-level menu planning and reporting to meal account management. JMC also offers a built-in, easy-to-use point-of-sale software, ring up meal purchases, access detailed reporting of both meals, and an a la carte purchases and more. And I gotta tell you again, this is just like the school messenger. Having the lunch program, that meal service program integrated right inside your SIS saves lots of time. Mark kids free and reduced in your SIS, it transfers automatically to that lunch module. It goes to state reporting as well. Really helpful in there. And then when parents make deposits online, and so on and so forth with a credit card or ACH, it all is integrated right in. There's no exports, imports, and so on. So if we take a look at that live lunch module, you'll see in JMC, the office program. I am going quickly, just introducing these to you. We've got all these things for lunch. We've got putting data in, free and reduced, and so on and so forth. But what we look at here is that integrated point of sale here. Here it is. And I come here, and this would be at your lunch line. You'd have a computer there, and you'd come in here and you type in your username here. And you can begin breakfast or begin lunch. Let's say it's lunchtime. I click begin lunch. Super easy to do. I'll make this a little smaller here for you. Students can up, they can scan a card, they can type in their number, they could use a fingerprint scanner, however you want to identify students. But let's say the students come in and they type in their number in your situation. We'll type in student number 17. They're going to get a lunch and enter. And student number 18 is going to come in, get a lunch, extra milk, enter. Student number 19 comes up and gets an extra milk and a potato item and enter. Student number 21 or 221 comes up, gets a lunch and wants a second lunch, or whatever it might be, and then enter. It's really easy to do. It's all right in there. You can show the balance if you want. Most people don't actually. I just show that to show the flexibility of JMC. Most people hide the balance so that the people at the point of sale don't see it, because with that integrated lunch program, you can send out low lunch balance emails. You can send out low lunch balance phone calls. And again, parents can go online to see what the family owes, and also to make a deposit right in there. So let me log into the JMC family portal here just to show you that for a second here. So here's the JMC family portal. We'll log in here. It's good to use the right username and password. Okay, and then we'll log in. There we go. They can come here under lunch. This is the family portal. Families can log in, parents and guardians, and they can see what their current balance is. They can see what each student has been eating here. I think John McElmurray's got some purchases here. Let's see. Yep, John's got some purchases there. And they can make a deposit right inside here if they want to make a credit card or ACH deposit into their account. They can also sign up and manage recurring payments, where they can say, hey, I want to make it so that when my lunch balance gets below $15, I want to add in $100. And they can set that up as well. So it's really easy to do inside JMC. All right, let's get back to our, actually I see another question down there. Question is from Sam. All right, great, Sam. Is there a charge for parents to make credit card payments? There is, Sam. No matter what online payment system you use, and no matter what SAS you use, there's always a convenience fee. And so we have a convenience fee for credit cards and for ACH payments. And so when families pay that, it tells them right before they even purchase, it says, hey, you're putting $100 in, and you can actually pass that convenience fee on to the families. A lot of schools do it. Some don't, but a lot do. Say your convenience fee is $4. They'll say $100 deposit, $4 convenience fee. They submit, and that charges them that amount. I thought we'd get a lot of complaints about that when we rolled that out, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago. But what I tell schools, and schools have affirmed to me, is that you just tell families, you can pay the convenience fee if you want. If not, send in a check. So there's nothing to complain about. So, and parents can decide if they want to do that as well. So great question there. All right, no more questions. Let's keep on rolling. Then, oh, here, the bank fee processor, JMC online payments. The funny thing, I read through this yesterday, and even though I do so many of these presentations, I forget. So this will go right into it. We've already talked about it, but with JMC's online payment modules, schools can accept credit card or ACH payments for tuition, fees, and meal plans 24/7. Spend less time tracking down payments and more time on what matters most, student success. Admins can issue refunds, reconcile payments, access reports by student or date, all from within this module. There's no integration headaches trying to import deposits from a third-party system. So we talked about this already. They can go in and the office can manage it. I showed the family side, but the office has great reports in our payment processor, which is Payment Spring. I'm sorry, Nailnet Payment Services. They have great reporting on their end as well. So we talked a little bit about that already, how parents can do that. You can run all kinds of reports to rectify your books and so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll keep on rolling to that. Then we've got the PTC Wizard and JMC Teacher Conference Scheduler. This is something I think we added in about 3 years ago. I honestly didn't think it was going to be super popular, but it is very popular. JMC's Teacher Conference Scheduler allows families to sign up for conferences from within JMC. No more juggling paper sign-up sheets or multiple passwords. Schools simply post available conference time slots online so families can sign up themselves. Teachers can set the time and length of the conferences, reserve blocks on behalf of families, and send confirmation and reminder emails. So what happens is teachers decide, all right, we're going to do 20-minute conferences or whatever it might be from this time to this time. And then it allows them to see that information that's listed there. So in a nutshell, it's so easy to set up. And the reason it's easy to set up, I'm going to go back to the office side. This is the JMC Office program again, is it's integrated so that you don't have to like remind parents of their passwords and so on and so forth. They're already in there checking lunch balances, checking their fees, they're checking their student progress, registering for school, and so on and so forth. So the office simply comes here, and I'm actually going to switch to next year here. So I've got one set up here to Teacher Conference Scheduler, to the settings, and they say, all right, we are going to have a conference on October 10th from 4 to 8 and October 11th from 4 to 8. You just come in here, add a row, you put the dates in, how long is the appointment, and so on and so forth. So it's super easy. Then families come in to the Teacher Conference Scheduler, and actually I'm going to log out and go into next year because I'm already in the summer, so I passed all my teacher conferences for this year. Here we go. Log in. They go to Teacher Conference Scheduler, and they'll see for each student, here's Francis, here's Emily, here's John. Those are my 3 students. They'll come in and they'll see the 4 teachers or how many teachers that student has. And they'll come and say, all right, great. I'm going to come here and I'm going to do 5:15 to 5:30. And I want to do this one then from 5:30 to 5:45. And I'm going to take a little lunch break from 5:45 to 6. So I'm going to go from 6 to 6:15. And then you'll see it shows me here 6:15 to 6:30. Now, if you look in that previous one, actually, it tells you that some things are not available. If you can see, it's a little faint there, maybe in your little video. It's not available, meaning somebody else has already signed up for this. So it instantaneously signs up, so nobody else could take these particular items there. They can print it out, take this with them, and they've got a sheet with them to bring to parent-teacher conferences. So they set their own items. It's really, really helpful. Teachers can come in and they can actually block things off. So like when you see this is like not available, it might be that this teacher's blocked it off for lunch, or maybe chosen another family there as well. So, so in a nutshell, teachers can either set the schedule, which I don't recommend, but they can, or families can do it on their own, which most people do. There's usually kind of like a little bit of a hybrid, to be honest. Sometimes a teacher will say, hey, I've got twins in my classroom. I want them to come together. And so they'll choose that or whatever. But in essence, giving families, parents, guardians the ability to choose really is a time saver. Okay. See if there's any questions. And I don't see any, so we'll keep on rolling. Then the Remind app is the JMC Coach Advisor app, which we talked a little bit about before, but let's highlight a few items. Coaches and activity advisors play an important role in your school community, and giving them access to student and family contact information can make everyone's life a lot easier. Coaches and activity advisors can stay connected to students and their families on the go with JMC Coach Advisor app, available on iOS and Android, of course. Whether they're running the sidelines or running through the scales with the marching band, they can send date and time stamped messages to families, look up student contact information, set team rosters, and much more. So it's an app that can take it on the go. We talked about it a little bit before. Where this is really helpful, the one thing I like to drive home is that, if I'm a teacher at your school and I've got some kids, just by being a teacher and using the JMC teacher portal, I can, find a kid, look at their schedule, and so on and so forth. So I can get their contact information. But if somebody doesn't work at your school, they're the waste disposal person, or they're the dentist, or whatever it might be, they never are coming to your school, and they're never really interacting with the office. So they're kind of on an island. Well, this allows them to see information about their students, contact their students, see the students' attendance, which is really helpful as well. It means that it will show them which kids are absent from their activity that day, in case the student shows up and says, oh, hey, I'm here to practice. Well, you didn't go to school today, you can't practice. Like it puts the information in their hands, so that the office doesn't have to keep reminding them that information there as well. So and I'll see if anybody has any questions as I talk a little more about this, but it's also just a great way to think about grouping students. So it's not just sports, but you might have, I know some schools, they'll have large bands. They've got a pep band, and they've got a jazz band, and they've got other band, and there's mixtures of these kids in these different band groups. And what they'll do is they'll set up 3 or 4 activities with each group, because then the teacher or the advisor of that activity can send out messages just to the pep band to say, hey, we're practicing tomorrow at 3:30 after school. And then they say into the marching band, we're practicing at 4 o'clock, or whatever it might be, so that the right people are getting the right messages there. Okay, don't see any questions. And then free and reduced meal applications equals online application in JMC Family. I love this one. Making sure free and reduced meal applications are submitted completely and on time is an important task at the beginning of the school year. That's why simplifying the application process is so important to JMC. Removing unnecessary barriers helps ensure students' nutrition needs are met. Families can use JMC to apply online for free or reduced price meals if your school participates in the federal school lunch and breakfast programs. Some private schools don't participate, but they still track that information for calculating what a student's tuition is going to be. So that can be helpful as well. Families enter the necessary household and income information in JMC Family. Then JMC processes the application, no paper copies required. Plus the application can be included in the yearly process for registering students for the school year next year. So, I've been to a lot of schools in the summer when they're processing free and reduced applications. And, lots of times it's just the person writes their name, how many kids they have in their family, and then their total income. Well, the USDA would not consider that a complete application. So they're really pushing schools to use online applications. And I'm going to run through it real quick. It's part of our register process for the 24-25 school year. They can come in here and they can do their application for educational benefits. I'm not going to go through every single part, but just to kind of give you a feel, this actually is directed right by the USDA. So we're putting USDA information right in JMC. This is all their wording. It says, welcome, come in here. Oh, I've already got, it's on for next year. So let me show you here. Let me actually, it's on for the previous year, excuse me, because I've not rolled over to the June 15th date. So let's show that here. I'll go from this last year here. I've not turned on my online registration for the upcoming school year. Here we go. Register for 23-24, application for educational benefits. Welcome. I click next. This shows me information again from the USDA. Then I'll come in here and I'll click next. And here I can put in my information. So let's put in Paul and Freed and all the information. Click next. They can see if there's which students they have. And my students are John, Francis, Emily. I click next. I can say, hey, I'm part of the SNAP program. Then I'll say, put in your SNAP number. Or I'm part of the FIP program. Put in your FIP number. If I don't, I click next. And then it gets me to some of the state items here. Every state has some different things here. I can add some other people here. I can add a child in if there's a non-school age child listed there. And then it comes in here and says, hey, did any of your kids receive income? Yes or no? And it takes them through it. So it does take families a little bit longer to do it. But you're collecting all the information. And here's where they can come in and they can put in their total salary here. That's done yearly or monthly or whatever might be there as well. So yes, it takes more time, but I actually have asked many schools, do families complain about doing online? And they say they don't, because it's just part of that online summer registration process. So when they're updating their contact information, answering health questions online, signing forms online, it's just part of the process. So they just do it. Great. Let's see if there's any questions here. There's one question here. It says, does the free and reduced application automatically flow into the other parts of JMC? And the answer to that is yes. So the families, not automatically, let me say that. Families fill it out, it comes into the JMC office, and then the office has to approve it. It will tell you whether they are approved for free or reduced or full pay. You just have to hit approve and then print out the letter that they have that they are required to receive. And then it flows into the point of sale, the lunch program, state reporting, and something like that as well. So Tom, thank you for that great question. All right, so here's the key takeaways to ensure you and your team hit the ground running. First, JMC offers communication and organization tools that offer the same functionality as School Messenger, Remind, and PTC Wizard. Second, no need for third-party workarounds for financial software needs. JMC Lunch and online payments offer everything you need to accept tuition payments, charge students for meals at lunch, and more. Third, say goodbye to patchwork software solutions. With JMC, it's all in one system and backed by our best-in-class tech support, so you're never on your own. Another great way to stay up to date on all things JMC is through our social media presence. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn at OnlineJMC, or our blog, jmcinc.com/news. On behalf of myself and the JMC Train team, thanks for your time today, and thank you for looking at JMC. And reach out to sales@jmcinc.com if you have any follow-up questions.